Late one night when I was a kid, I remember waking up from a dead sleep. And for some reason, couldn't get back to sleep. I decided to watch some television. It was around 3:30 in the morning, I believe. And I decided to flip through the TV channels until I could find something interesting to watch. I landed on Nickelodeon. Or, at the time, I guess it was Nick at Night. However, it was playing Spongebob Squarepants. Thought it odd for it to be on so early and so late at the same time. But I ignored it because SpongeBob is one of my favorite shows. I realized that this was an episode that I'd never seen before, though. And I quickly got excited. From what I remember, the episode was just starting right as the channel came on. Call me lucky, I guess, but after this, I don't know if that's entirely true. The episode in question was titled Under Gary's Shell. It started with SpongeBob and Gary, his pet snail. They were finishing watching what I assumed to be an episode of Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy, when SpongeBob said, "Well, time to go to bed, Gare Bear." Gary meows and then follows SpongeBob up the stairs to the bedroom. SpongeBob would make conversation with Gary. "What a great episode, huh? Oh man, I wish Patrick was with us tonight to watch it. What about you, Gary?" That kind of thing. And Gary happily meowed back. "Gary," SpongeBob said back, "Patrick sometimes can be a little loud watching TV, and yeah, he hogs the sofa and eats more of the snacks than we do, but he's still our friend nonetheless. Well, anyways, good night, Gary." Gary meowed once again. SpongeBob began to emit his usual snoring sound. It lasted longer than I'd ever seen before in an episode. I thought maybe it was a television glitch, because I don't typically remember it going for about a good 30 seconds. Could have even been longer than that. But then, Gary opened one of his eyes, which caught me off guard, but I laughed it off. Gary meowed. From what I had to guess, he was making sure SpongeBob was asleep. He meowed once more, and then started to move out of the room. He looked back at SpongeBob one last time, and the bubble screen transitioned indicated that it was the next scene. Gary was outside of SpongeBob's house, looking around for a few seconds, until he then started to slither his way down the road into Bikini Bottom. He then comes across what appears to be a homeless fish sitting by a dumpster. The fish spots Gary, and with a friendly smile, he says, "Why, hello there, you cute little snail. Have you any change?" Gary meows. "Oh, well, that's all right," says the fish. "I'm so cold and hungry. No one wants to help an old fish like myself these days. But no matter. That doesn't mean tomorrow won't be better." The fish smiles and winks at Gary, but Gary doesn't smile back. Gary starts to growl instead, furiously at the homeless fish, with his eyes bloodshot red and his teeth sharp. The fish slightly backs off. Easy, boy. I didn't mean to offend you. If I did, I'm sorry. I'm just starving here. The homeless fish puts his hands up in a defensive stance. Gary then opens his mouth wide. The fish jumps back in horror, begging not to hurt him. I watched in terror on the TV screen as Gary's mouth gets wider and wider. And before I know it, the inevitable happens. I still couldn't believe my eyes as I watched Gary begin to put the fish into his mouth, starting with his feet and his legs. Shocked and motionless, I couldn't look away. After that, the camera then swerving to the flowers in the sky of Bikini Bottom, and all you can hear is Gary chewing and moaning, alongside disgustingly crunching noises of bone. A title card then comes on screen with the usual French narrator, indicating the next day. SpongeBob's alarm blares, as it always does. He opens his eyes and stretches. Gary, like usual, meows. How about some breakfast, buddy? I don't have work for another hour, SpongeBob says. Gary meows. Not hungry? He asks. Wait a minute. SpongeBob looks at the calendar next to him on the wall. He gets big-eyed and starts biting his nails. Oh no. Oh no, it's that time of year again, isn't it? Gary meows. Gary, SpongeBob asks, how many? Gary meows again. Gary, let me see. SpongeBob then opens up Gary's shell, and under it is what seems to be pure chum. Dead flesh and bones of fish and other sea life. Innocent victims of Bikini Bottom, all dead under Gary's shell. SpongeBob sighs. Well, I guess I'll call Plankton again. I'll let him know his year's worth of chum is ready. SpongeBob then looks back at Gary. You know, it's funny. Plankton pays me 3 times what I make at the Krusty Krab for dead fish guts. But nothing beats making Krabby Patties. He laughs. Until the episode ends. As the credits came on, I sat there with a faint expression on my face. And to this day, I don't know if the episode was real or not. It seems like it was. At least to me, I know it wasn't a dream, but I can't prove that it was real. All I can do is tell you what I know and hope that you believe me. I've never been able to look at SpongeBob or Gary the same way after watching this. I don't think I ever will again.